Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. So today's video I'm going to be doing a hair update because I feel like I've kind of been neglecting my hair followers for a while, because I know quite a lot of people who follow my channel follow me because they are also interested in growing back their hair if they've lost it from birth control pill or any other reason. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I do have a playlist on that, so I'll link that up here. It's probably best if you watch those so you can see what my hair looked like from the very beginning, which is about a year and a half ago now. But to give a very brief backstory now, I lost a lot of hair after I came off the birth control pill, and it took me a while to realize that I had actually lost a lot of hair. And the way that I realized that I had lost hair was because I caught my reflection in the back of a mirror and I saw that there really wasn't anything there. So my hair's always been thin or fine, as I like to say. It sounds a bit nicer. So for some reason I didn't really pay attention for quite a long time. I just always know that my hair is always a bit thin, but I didn't realize how much thinner it actually got. So I had a bit of a panic over that, but luckily it has grown back for me. And I outlined in a few of my other videos that I think the main and the most important thing when it comes to growing out your hair is about your nutrition. It's about your hormone levels, because hormones have a big effect on your hair growth. And also it is to do with how you are looking after the hair that is already on your head, which is more important if you have fine and fragile hair like myself. So I think the last time I did a hair update was about 6 months ago, and there have been a few changes since then. Firstly, looking at my diet, I do still for the most part follow a whole foods plant-based diet, but I am incorporating a lot more fish and bits of dairy here and there, although only small amounts. And I would say I'm a lot more relaxed when it comes to sort of going out for dinners and special occasions and things like that. So I definitely can't call myself vegan, definitely not. But whenever I cook for myself and whenever I have a choice, I always go for the kind of whole food plant-based option, because I think that is the best way to get a nutrient dense and very healthy diet. So that's mostly what I follow. But like I said, because I am incorporating more fish and a little bit more dairy, there will be additional nutrients and things that I'm getting now, probably more protein, things like that, than perhaps I got before. And then in terms of the way that I am looking after my hair, I do have a dedicated video on this that I released a few weeks ago, so again I'll link that up here. But there have been quite a few changes here as well. So before, in January, I've always used kind of sulfate-free shampoos. I personally like this brand called Dr. Organic or Dr. Organics. It's something we can find in a health food store that we have here in the UK called Holland & Barrett. They have a really nice shampoo that is a coconut shampoo. So for me, I really like that one. It works well for my hair. But since we've actually been in lockdown, I have been using a lot more natural methods to wash my hair. So I bought these hair shampoo bars, and I can't use them wash after wash because they do leave a little bit of like a waxy residue in my hair. But I've been using those together with the powder washes that I've been doing, and that seems to really kind of thicken my hair, as well as the different stuff that I'm using to actually clean my hair. I'm also leaving the frequency of my washes so that I wash my hair pretty much only once a week since I've been in lockdown. But I don't think that I can continue with this because by the end of the week my hair is so greasy. So if I was like in normal life and, you know, going to the office and things like that, I couldn't leave it once a week. But before, if you compare, I was washing it every other day. So being able to wash it once a week is great for my hair, I think. Realistically now, I'm going to be trying to leave it sort of twice a week, which is still much better than every other day. So I'm washing it twice a week rather than 3 or 4 times a week, because I find that if I wash my hair too often, it does tend to get greasier quicker. And if your hair is greasy and it kind of dries out the scalp a little bit, then that is another sign that perhaps your scalp isn't super healthy. And we have to remember that hair growth is massively affected by the health of your scalp. But yeah, like I said, I have been using kind of natural methods, but I do also incorporate some shampoo washes here and there. But when it does get greasy, I do like to kind of brush it out to the ends and almost use it as a bit of a hair mask. I think that that is really, really good for your hair. If you can do that at the moment, then I would highly recommend it. Another thing that I've been doing is I bought myself a pair of hairdressing scissors. I bought these because I wanted to have something that I could snip out any split ends that I would find. So split ends are not good for your hair if you're growing them out. So what will happen is if your hair is split at the bottom, eventually that split sort of tears apart all the way up the strand. So if you don't chop that off like quite high up, it will keep splitting all the way up your hair. So as soon as I see a little split end, I do like to kind of chop it off. Especially I've got like very thin hairs around my neck here, if you can see there. So I like to take those out of my ponytail, and because they're so thin, they do need a bit more sort of trimming here and there. But again, because I am trying to grow it out, I don't want to like do a full-on chop all the time. So that's why I kind of bought those hairdressing scissors, just for like a little bit of sort of self-maintenance here and there. It's something I actually highly recommend. It also saves you loads of money because I can't go to the hairdresser like every other week to just get a few trims here and there. So yeah, definitely invest in a pair of hairdressing scissors if you haven't already. And yes, I am going to show you my hair in a minute for all of you sitting there being like, okay, but just show us your hair. I will in just a second. So another thing I want to talk about is my hormone health, which I think is pretty bang on at the moment. I'm super regular in terms of my periods. I do still have quite painful periods on occasion. It's normally only for one day that it's really, really painful, but when it is painful, it is absolutely crippling. Like, I cannot get out of bed. I've actually read into that's not necessarily super normal. I mean, I've had it sometimes where it's been so painful I've almost fainted, and I have actually fainted once last year, which was really bad. And yes, I have been checked out and things, and I don't have endometriosis or anything like that. I don't really know why I get such painful periods, because some months as well, it's not painful at all. It's a bit of a weird one. But other than that, my hormones are great, and I can very much like tell when I'm in different parts of my cycle. I'm super in tune with my own kind of hormone fluctuations. And speaking of hormones, what is quite interesting about my hormone fluctuations is I do notice how they affect my hair. When you have high levels of estrogen, which is the first half of your cycle, so that is from day 1 of your period up until sort of the middle of your period, and when you have like ovulation, it doesn't seem to shed at all. But then as my estrogen levels go down, I'm sort of nearing the end of my cycle, I get a lot more hair fall, and that is quite normal. Apparently estrogen sort of holds onto your hair, which is why when you go on the pill and things like that, apparently that is what helps your hair get thicker, because you are basically putting in extra estrogen into your body. It's the same reason why as you are pregnant, you get more hair growth, and then as soon as you kind of have your baby, you have postpartum hair loss, and that is because your estrogen levels go down. So estrogen does have quite a big effect on your hair. So don't worry if you feel like some days your hair is shedding more than other days. It is super normal for your hair to shed, by the way, and you want your hair to shed, because when you shed your hair, that means that there's more space for the new ones to grow out. So don't worry about if you feel like there's like more hair loss some days and less on others. Finally, what I can tell you is that I brush my hair quite a lot. I do that in order to sort of redistribute the sebum, or basically the hair grease. And it also is a good way to get rid of those dead hairs that want to fall out, and that makes way for the new hairs. So I think I'll brush my hair probably about, I don't know, like 4 times a day. This is the brush that I use. It's a plastic and boar bristle brush. It's not just a pure boar bristle brush. Okay, so now that I've talked way too much, you're all sitting there going, okay, but show us your hair. So bear in mind, I am trying to grow my hair long, so I haven't cut it now in a while. Let me just brush it out a little bit first, and then I'll brush it from the back. So I think it probably does need a bit of a trim, just to kind of make the ends a little bit thicker and a little bit healthier. But I think that has grown quite a lot in 6 months. I hope you can see that. So as you can see, my hair is much thicker and much longer. I think I am still trying to grow it out to about this length, which was the kind of length that I had before. I recommend though, if you are growing out your hair, to just, and if you have damaged hair especially, to just like, sorry, just to interrupt my own thought, but like, as you can see, like my ponytail is just so much thicker than it was before. So these are all good signs. But yeah, so anyway, like I was saying, I think that if you are trying to grow out your hair, I do recommend doing a big chop at the beginning to just get rid of all the damaged hairs, and then you can kind of start again, and then do keep getting sort of regular trims, perhaps every, I don't say I go every 6 weeks, maybe every 2-3 months. Just get a little bit of a trim, so that it just stays healthy, and then as your hair kind of grows, you will be able to leave longer between those trims. So that is something that I think is really helpful. I don't think that I really suit very short hair. I mean, it's fine to have for a while, but I think I just look a bit nicer with long hair. So that is why I'm gonna grow it out. So we'll see if I'm actually able to grow it out to a decent length this time. I used to have like really quite long hair, so we'll see if I can reach that again. So one thing I also want to talk about is the texture of my hair. I feel like the texture of my hair has changed kind of throughout this process. But so before any of my hair fell out or anything like that, I've always had completely poker straight hair. I had like maybe one teeny little that came out here, but I never had curly hair. And when I lost a lot of hair, as well as becoming a lot thinner, my hair started getting kind of a little bit curly around, especially around here. So I don't know why that happened. Perhaps when your hair gets thinner, it gets a bit flatter as well. If you do a cross section of flat versus straight hair, curly hair is flat, and then straight hair is like round, the actual hair strand. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'll put some pictures up on the screen, that's probably better. So maybe that's something that happened when my hair got thinner, it also got flatter, and because of that it got a little bit curlier. But I have noticed now that it is going back to its more just completely straight, which is pretty nice because I think I don't really suit curly hair. So yeah, it's nice to know that I think things are kind of going back to normality. Is it as thick as it was before? Again, I think it will take a few years for me to be able to really compare, because your hair does take a long time to grow out. It grows out from your roots and it literally does take years. So all of this is older hair. This is probably, you know, I don't even know how many years, but it takes years essentially for it to grow a long time. So I think I would need to leave it for quite a long time before I can say whether it was as thick as it was when I was a teenager. I have a feeling it probably won't go back to that, because obviously as you get older, your hair does naturally just get a little bit thinner. But I mean, I think all the signs there, I'm really happy with how things are going, and yeah, I'm happy to see that things are kind of going back to normal a little bit as well. I hope you liked this video. It was a little bit of a ramble. It wasn't very organized, but I hope it was helpful and I hope it was interesting for you anyway. If you have any questions, if you have anything else you want me to make a video on specifically around hair or anything else, please do drop a comment in the comment section down below. And in the meantime, please do hit that like button, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon for another video. Bye.